Okay, so this evening or tonight I'm doing a job that's normally associated with autumn time, and this is hardwood cuttings of soft fruit. In this case I have currants. They're red currants, black currants and white currants. I have a mix of them here already chopped. So I normally leave these until December, January even, January, February. They're dormant, they're going to stay there all winter. So as long as they're done before the growth comes back in. So this one's a red currant, and I'm going to use cuttings that are about 5 inches long, 5-6 inches. So there. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to cut it just there at the node. You can see the node right across, and then I'm going to just nip off that little bud there, and I'm also going to nip off the one just above it too, and a nice big wound on it. Okay, so there we go. That's typical size cutting. Just put that one aside now, and we'll do it again. So again, I'm going to take it, and there's two together there, so I'll do it a bit longer. I'm going to take it there just below the node, or a bud, whichever you want to call it. It's a node. Take the node off and take up the one above it. Just so as you can see, the timber is wounded, and this will help rooting. Take off the one above that as well, because I'm going to actually, these are going to get buried kind of deep. And one more then. Again, I can't, yeah, there it is. Cut above the node, below the node, sorry. Take it off, take off the one above it, and again it's a bit shorter than the other two, doesn't matter. Now in this case I have a raspberry cane. It's a bit longer than the other one, so I'm going to start at the very top, and I'm going to count 4 buds down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So then I'm going to cut at the 5th one, as long as it's around 6 inches, because that's the size cutting that I want, 5 to 6 inches. So I've cut it now, but I've got 5 buds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in this case, I'm just going to take the bottom one. And the same as the currants, I've wounded it. You could actually wound it a bit more, it doesn't matter. Just scalp off the bottom of it. Now with the one that's left now, the nodes are a bit further apart, so we'll see what we can do. I'm going to cut again just below the node. I'm going to take it off. 1, 2, 3. I'll chop it here. Now I've only got 3, and I've got a pretty long cutting at this stage. We'll go with it. I'll do one more. There's plenty of buds in this guy now, but he's a bit thin. If 3 up there, 4, 5. I'll go 6 with this one. We'll do 6 rounds with him. Just below the node, bang. Take it off, and take off the one above it. And then, this is a bit better now than the last one. So I'll just bring it down to the top node, and I've got 1, 2, 3. I'll take it at the 4th one. So I'm going to cut just below the 4th one. I'm just going to take that one off, it's a bit thorny now. Now, next I have a gooseberry. This is a thorny gooseberry. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the thorn off, because in a couple of months' time, when I'm potting those up, I'll be grabbing them fairly fast, and I don't want to get stabbed with thorns. So again, I'm looking for 5-6 inches. These are a bit thinner than the other ones. And I'll do the same. I'll cut below the node. I'll wound it. 1, 2, and he's good to go. So I've got another one. There's a bit of a twist in this, isn't it? I'll straighten him up a bit. So again, I've got about 5 nodes there. 5 buds, that's enough. So again, I'm going to take off the bottom bud, the second bud, and I'm also going to take the thorn out of it. Gooseberry. Now, I started before I put the camera on, so I actually have a lot lined up here already. So I'm going to show you next now is how I plant them. Now you can plant those into a bed in the garden in a sheltered spot, but I don't. I plant them in containers because I just don't want something taking up that much space for so long. Now I hope I can see this. Oh, right, let's get the camera up a small bit. I hope that's still visible. So it's a big plastic tray. It's fairly tall, and I've left a good space from the top, about 4 or 5 inches. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my currants, and I'm going to put them in about 1/3 their depth. Press them down hard, and I'm going to put them in about 1 inch apart. It's a bit more than 1 inch now. It's more like 2 inches. Show me a meter, as the man said. Try and do better with the next line. Again, just firm them in. I'll put them a bit closer together this time because I have a lot. Don't really know how many get into a tray, but a lot anyway. Now I would expect about 70% of these to root. I'm using 1-year-old growth. That means this is all growth that just grew last summer. It's fresh and it's healthy. Always make sure that your propagating material is healthy. There's no point in propagating rubbish, anything that has diseases or cankers or anything like that. So there we go. We're about 1/3 of the size into the ground, and we should get a root from each bud where we chopped off a bud. We should get a root. No, I'm not going to keep you here while I plant the whole lot. So what I'm going to do is I'll do the rest in a while. So now I know this is very difficult now. The camera angle, I just don't have it right. So I also have this material now, and this is horticultural fleece, if you can see it. Okay, I'm not advertising for anybody or promoting anybody, but I bought this from Quick Crop last year, and they were selling it in, I think it could be 100-meter rolls. They were definitely 50 meters by 3 meters, and it was cheap. It was about 40 quid, and I bought a lot of it. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to cover it with that when it's fully planted. Okay. Okay, I've doubled it. I'll cover it with that, and I will have more trays. I'll probably have maybe 10 or 12 trays of different cuttings. I'll keep them all together, and when they're pushed together, they'll keep the fleece down. I can tuck it underneath, whatever. So there you go. Hardwood cuttings. You can still do them if you can find a supply of material. You could do black currants, red currants, white currants, gooseberries, raspberries, or anything else that's in that family, blackberries, whatever you can get. So just make sure it's this year's growth, and it's clean material. It's free from diseases and pests. And it's as simple as that. And you'll notice I haven't used any rooting powder. I haven't used anything. Just chop them and plant it. Okay, that's it for tonight.